Okay, technically speaking, it's after midnight and therefore into September 2nd. So then, therefore, Labor Day is over with, and I'm sitting here really bereft and at low ebb, and I did hassle to find one of my cameras with roach droppings on it. It's disgusting to think that's emblematic. I don't know where or when, but that's what I found on the camera I'm using now. I've set it to save space. I'm using, of course, the little ThinkPad 3 Lenovo, and it just doesn't have much space for much storage space. I've been relying just on the telephone for uploads to YouTube and Facebook, and cutting back on Facebook. Mostly just going to store things on YouTube. The losses and damages, there's no hiding the maliciousness that's taken place. I've confirmed what I knew I would if I ever looked into a pile of crap on my desk here, just the way it was when I got here, untouched until really right now, when I thought, well, I'll look for the camera anyway. And all the wires to the printer are somewhere eaten by rats, I guess. I don't know what became. Can't use a printer for much of anything, and low-res recordings, graphic recordings, and audio, but that doesn't matter. Well, I guess it could, but it doesn't. And I have no reason to complain, except that, every time I do something, there's a sorry-ass response. I made the comment that I think is still accurate, namely that if you want to know what kind of scenario, don't go to Beverly Hills, although they may have something to do with the neutral zone in Korea. Probably not, unless over time. But look to the Koreans themselves, North and South, to figure out what to do in Ukraine. Well, sure enough, right away, some Koreans showed up over there in Eastern Europe. But from what I understand, they were not in a policy-making position, because you know how it's gone. It's not gone very well. Or something else like that, And so I commented on NATO. I'm one of those who has never been satisfied about NATO. I don't know. I wouldn't say that the people who were putting that together were engaging in triumphalism or jingoism or something, but they weren't far from that from the get-go. I think they honestly saw communism as somehow almost supernatural, that they had to fight against communism, and that's been the strange way of people about all that all along. It's been very expensive, and it's therefore represented a redistribution of wealth among ideologues and others. But now there's an opportunity, if for no other reason than that a bunch of brats decided to start a war, and they did over there, because there were people on both sides of some of the issues, and they cobbled together a war. It's as though, half dozen or a dozen Illinois got together to run the world, as if they had read up on what it is to be an enlightened despot, and they sure as hell were going to be exactly that, all of them. Except that they were prepared to do almost anything even before them. So like that old adage about, I want to go to heaven, but not quite yet. Something like that. But, it's just a shame that people can be led by mandarins who are entrusted far more than they should be. And therefore I look to media and say, what have you done for me lately? Labor Day's over. Now it's back to mahogany and mink. Well, I'd say that's rather passé. Rather passé indeed. I'll tell you the kind of improvement I like. There used to be Formica. You could sit at a Formica table, your breakfast room table, or in a local eatery. Guess what they did? They came up with a different patina for your Formica. And so I can say that's good enough for me. Even so, people misuse the damn stuff. They make ugly things out of Formica. And somehow people feel, well, you can't go wrong with mahogany. Oh, yes, you can. Yeah, you can go wrong with mahogany, and I don't think you even want to hear about it. But that's another story. Now it's back to work, though, for a lot of people. I'm hoping people are ready to do something. Now, how many of you have your keyboard ready to go? After some legwork, what would that be? To your Formica table or your mahogany table to look at what? Is it heavily laden with information, really? The hash that would inform your next syntactical wonder? Some taxes are paid only in, the proverbial syntax way of life. Write a book and then go on tour. I actually know some people, I would say respectfully, you can try that too, and you might succeed. It'd be better than some of the alternatives. But we have people, what are the animals? There's several you can think of, aren't there? Songbirds. Not all songbirds, but some. Would you prefer to be a baby bird in the nest with a wide open mouth being stuffed with dead or alive insects? Or would you prefer to be a bird stuffed with whatever the mama bird regurgitates into your gaping mouth in some feathered nest? Of course, some birds aren't known for their song. They are emblematic of what? Predators. They call, but it's not exactly the songs that we like to hear, sung by birds who've had their fill of insects or regurgitation. And that's just a fact of life, right? Am I supposed to say that about roaches who pee on my camera because of your thought? Better that you clean up your act in the media on what? Dare I say, NATO, than much that I know about and I try to avoid. I don't think there's any point in urging you to do your homework so that some people have an eternally on green light. They're told that they are batting 1,000 no matter what they do. It's almost like, an indulgence. People locally join into one arrangement or another, and it's about like an indulgence that says, and from now on, all your sins are forgiven. You can't go wrong. They believe that locally, and not because they really believe that something in advance can be approved or exonerated or that they are automatically exculpated no matter what, but instead that no matter what they do, the media they read, the people they talk to, functions of media, string theory, whatever, they're told repeatedly that they've done very well indeed, that they bat 1,000, that it's like Babe Ruth all over again. They also really do believe that I'm a lump of clay put on their potter's wheel, and they can show people how it's done in their own families. They can do it with myself on their potter's wheel. And let me tell you, the results are in. They've been in time after time. This is where I sit here in the Bible Belt, and there's a reason why people are cautious about the Bible Belt, because there is something supernatural about their brand of evil. They've tapped into something on a religious basis, and it isn't communism all the time, or if you like, you can play a wonderful word game and say that that's all it'll ever be. And you can preen in terms of what? Your preferred pathways, byways, where you'll be told you're doing just fine. And for some, if all of that doesn't draw up, you're not even going to pay attention. For others, they wait like I do. The difference is not quite like I do. They're not slaves. They're not slaves. Oh, I know. Someone will launch into tweets or songs or what on wage slavery, this or that, and I feel like that's the same. I don't want to go there. I don't, really. I'd rather do something useful. And doing nothing is more useful than finger painting in exactly what it is that some people like so much. I don't know whether it's the aroma or the texture or the colors or what it is, but I'm not one of those. I'm not one of any number of people. I'm not a what? I'm not a gypsy, am I? I'm bolted down, am I not? Oh yeah, that's true. They used to think of me as a runaway. They left out the part where I was told to move along, keep going, don't come back. So, then I would move along when I was able. and then I was able to run away. So I hear that every now and then. There are other things along the way too, you know. Is there anything I've left out? Yeah. So this recent foray into Blount County, and now whatever the hell the county is here for Alex City, these forays, I think, represent the last huzzah for exhortations about wrongdoing that I would see corrected. What you're entitled to is what you've made of my life and what you continue to make of my life. My life is characterized by involuntary servitude to a party line too. That is what, titillating or something, or what your reaction to what, some strange brand of cognitive dissonance, or maybe not, maybe I'm missing something. Is that it? Well, anyway, now things have gotten bad enough for me simply to ruminate and not worry about my own situation, but to look at what else you're doing. I can see what you're doing or failing to do in Europe, Eastern Europe, and I can think of the good old days when I was in on stuff in ways that people didn't know about necessarily, but I get messages every now and then from people who have been paying attention and have, I guess, no reason to enter the fray that should take place. If you have a schoolroom where no adult has been in a long time and you go in there and things are in disarray, it might take an hour to get things straightened out, or if you go in a classroom and they're not really interested until about 2 weeks into the year, whereupon, if they had tablets, they would put them aside or tune in even more closely. I know for a fact that some who don't have the experience of tuning in more closely. I know for a fact that I did occasionally. I have to say, not all schools are created equal. Some are very lucky indeed. I have plenty they can tune to. But by the same token, there are also opportunities for people to come in and turn things around in terms of who's listening the hardest. I know pianists who, concert level pianists who, for family's sake, was enrolled somewhere, and yet the tables were turned, in terms of who's doing what for whom. That's the way it is for some people. Sometimes that's a hardship, sometimes it's nominally a hardship, or maybe it's something more saddening than that. If people can't really do some good, what is it? Slavery is what? Involuntary servitude. Involuntary servitude being servitude that has benefits unfairly accruing to someone that shouldn't get them. Involuntary servitude, therefore, is a kind of theft. Now I'm 79, yeah, a bad number. If I make it to another year, then I'll be 80. I don't know whether people like that number better. Not quite like, some favorite people, but I guess they don't have to clean up their equipment from roach piss, or that is what little they might get after they've been iracinated again and again. There's not much left. Yeah, I'm sitting here with a bunch of wreckage, and I thought, well, I'll look for my camera anyway, and I thought, well, now I haven't used even this little ThinkPad 3. That was a fallback thing that I got, well over a year ago. It was dramatically left in its shipping box for a week in the hallway, I was told. Dave, you've got a package out in the hallway. What does it look like? It says Livono on it, and it's got your name on it. I said, well, I guess nobody thought to deliver it to me. I knew what was. In terms of mind games, what is that? Specifically, I know who that is. But anyway, I finally got it, and it's then and here now it's in use, not very much. I got it as a backup, a default, knowing what would happen really. The other equipment is sabotaged. Well, I did plug in one of the screens. I have here the one of the larger screens plugged into the Lenovo, just a slave. It doesn't do anything. It works so well. But anyway, so I have the Lenovo now, and then in addition, when I was told I would be moving here to Alex City, I ordered a bunch of stuff to be delivered here. I didn't want to fail to get that done before any money was confiscated or anything. Among other things, I bought the generic labeled, 10-inch tablet, which has done very well. It's Android. I couldn't really do better than what the Lenovo does here, but for Windows. But so I've prepared myself in terms of default. What I don't like is that each default has become really all there is. Oh yeah, I still have the Lenovo, but then 2 terabytes of stuff that I had stored is gone. A menacing stack of old tablets, or not tablets, but laptops is here. That goes with Biden and all of that, the era. And really, let me tell you, folks, you've not done well at all. That's a fact. Now, yes, it's true. The people here are the actual hands-on failures. Or really one in particular, and then, string theory for the rest. But I mean, just abysmal failures. As abysmal as Susan and Patty themselves, and they are deified, in the firmament, the ones who affect me daily. Truly failures. These stacks of laptops right here could be rescued someday. Probably I won't get to it. But almost as a religious thing, these are stacked here as if, think about this, folks. What do you think? You know what I think? You're a fool. Others are probably ka-ching, ka-ching. All kinds of praise and whatever goes with the trash that some people have to offer. Lately, the news has tightened slightly, a little bit, so that things get into better focus, I think, for some people about, some of the cherished hash that is chewed on and regurgitated endlessly in media. And the result has been that I've noticed a few people suddenly struggling really to get their bearings. What else happens, I don't know. Then some others are even more emboldened in the most pitiful way. Like the emergency room and one of the people here who, off the street, and it showed. Here's right in front of me. This figured into my exasperation. I'm going to hold it up for you here. This is you can't see it well, it's kind of dark, but it's a mouse pad that I ordered, one of the many items that I just, while I was getting the other stuff. Simply a mouse pad. This and a few other items were on the table with all the debris in this wreckage, the useless wreckage. And then after several days it wasn't. And I was so exasperated to think somebody would steal that, And then it showed up in a drawer where I had looked for things earlier. I wasn't looking for the pad, but I was looking for some other stuff. And so I had looked in the drawer, and these were not there, but there they were. This trivial purchase and something else I can't recall what. Something I never did find are the mice that go with all the computer stuff here. There's only one that I found. It's a Lenovo mouse. The rest are useless because the plug-ins, on the computer, I had them all on one little thing. What do you call them? Hub. There were 5 or 6 for the printer and the mice and whatever. And that's gone, which means all of that's gone. Just the people here, and as I say, they have a vigilante attitude about mythology. They believe that everything flows from malpractice. What else could it be? That undergirds their malicious form of extrajudicial stupidity. Well, as you know, it's ongoing. It's ongoing like the pills I take or anything else. And along the way, some of those pills have encouraged me, shall we say, to take insulin. That alone should pay all my bills anywhere. But no, it's getting worse. But I don't have any exhortations. Look at there, there's that Mickey Mouse thing. That was placed on a wall where I can't see it. And I haven't even bothered to take it down. Well, anyway, I'm testing this Lenovo ThinkPad 3. I haven't touched it in 6 or 8 weeks, and I see that it still performs correctly, although I've been watching and it's not quite through doing some updates. What do they call it? Oh golly, Windows update. Yeah, still running. So, but now that's about done, and just been sitting here. It's about 30 minutes of this, probably almost the whole memory in this little tiny computer. So I'll upload this and clear the memory off the machine and decide what to do with what's left over, even though this is only 7:20. All right, 30 minutes and some odd seconds. Yeah, things are worse than ever, and I know for a fact that the wrong people have been rewarded, such as with this business of the ID that was stolen by the very people who now have given up their effort to get me something that would be useful. I can't get to certain sites. I can't, for example, update social media unless I have that. I was unaware of that, that this had been instated since the last time I had to do any of that. But on moving to Alex City, I say moving, I have crash landed. I mean, I just hit this place. This place is more hostile than Aniana. That's a fact. But anyway, your favorite has simply failed to do what he should do, that and other things adds up to conclusive proof that he is not managed by anybody worth their salt.